And now is Brandon Arnold joining us. He is the Executive Vice President with the National Taxpayers Union. And Carl Szabo is the Vice President and General Counsel at Net Choice and an Internet Law Professor at George Mason University Scalia Law School. Thank you both for coming on. We appreciate that. Brandon, I'd like to start with you if we can here. So 25 basis points, 75 basis points. It's anyone's guess at this point, but what would that do to interest rates or to folks that are really wanting to borrow a home or borrow money for a home right now, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think 75 basis points is not really on the table. We're looking at 25 or 50. And the most important thing to think about here is that we're moving in the right direction. This is long overdue. We've needed these rate cuts for a long time. The Fed has dragged their feet, and finally we're going to be able to get some relief. I think household debt is really such an important indicator here. We've seen household debt rise to nearly $18 trillion. Americans are maxing out their credit cards. They're dipping into their home equity line of credit just to pay their bills. They need some rate relief, let alone thinking about, purchasing that automobile, purchasing that new home, which has been out of reach for so many working class Americans. This rate cut is long overdue, and it's going to give the economy the jolt that it needs to get back on track.
Carl, I'm curious your response to that as well, and if you agree.
Yeah, so first of all, I think it's kind of sad state in America where Jerome Powell, unelected bureaucrat, is deciding the future for the entire U.S. economy. That's a really unfortunate position we've put ourselves in as a nation. And then turning to the fact that you see Senator Elizabeth Warren and a couple other Democratic senators saying, well, we need more rate cuts to spike the market, when in fact, one of the best things that they could do as sitting U.S. senators to improve the economy is decrease regulations and decrease taxes across the board. That's a huge boon, not only for American businesses, but for American consumers. They don't want to do that. They want to rely on some quick Fed politics to boost the economy ahead of the election.
Well, people certainly feeling desperate right now. Former President Donald Trump holding a rally on Long Island this evening. He posted on X in part, quote, "I will turn it around, get SALT back, lower your taxes, and so much more. I'll work with the Democrat governor and mayor and make sure the funding is there to bring New York State back to levels it hasn't seen for 50 years. What did you make of his vow to bring SALT back? Brandon, you first.
Yeah, I think Trump nailed this policy in 2017 by capping the SALT deduction. The SALT deduction is a giveaway to wealthy taxpayers in blue high-tax states like New York, New Jersey, Maryland, California. And it is essentially asking taxpayers in lower tax jurisdictions like Nevada, North Carolina, Arizona to subsidize these wealthy people in blue states. So we should keep that cap in place. If anything, we should eliminate the SALT deduction altogether. Trump got it right in 2017. I don't know why he's veering off course today, because politically speaking, he's not going to win those blue states, but he can win a lot of those low tax purplish states that would be asked to subsidize these higher tax burdens.
That's certainly friendly Trump territory there, but I think they do want it beyond the 10 grand.
Yeah, wanted to bring up Kamala Harris, the other side of this. She was sitting down for an interview with the NABJ yesterday, dodging the question if people are better off or than they were 3-4 years ago. Watch this.
Are they better off now than they were 4 years ago?
So when we came into, well, first of all, let me just say it is good to be with the National Association of Black Journalists, and I thank you for the work you do and that your members do every day. 4 years ago, when we came in during the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. We came in during the worst public health epidemic in centuries. We came in after the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. And a lot of it due in large part to the mismanagement by the former president.
Carl, did she answer the question in your mind?
Of course she didn't, because when she came into office, we had the lowest inflation rates ever. We had a vaccine cure. So one of the things that she keeps dodging is, of course, people are worse off today than they were 4 years ago. And why is that? Well, it's because her administration injected trillions of dollars into an already overheated economy. And then the argument of we had low unemployment numbers and we brought them back. That's like saying the unemployment numbers on Sunday were really high. And then on Monday, when everybody goes back to work, they were really low. That's essentially the arguments they're making. So, of course, everyone is worse off today than they were 4 years ago. And that's because of the high spend, high tax approach of this administration. And what Donald Trump is proposing with the SALT taxes, while I, as a Maryland resident, would most benefit because I pay high taxes to the state of Maryland and would be able to deduct more off my federal taxes, would be benefited from a principles perspective. Low tax states should not be funding my high tax state. But at the same time, we should be looking to lower taxes across the board for all Americans.
All right, Brandon Arnold, Carl Szabo, we appreciate you joining us this morning. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Israel is on high alert after thousands of